Okay, so now notice that all your code that you wrote there is gone because that was in the RAM part of it. So the natural question is, how could you permanently burn a piece of code on the ESP8266 such that the code starts executing the moment you power it on? You can power it on using your laptop, you can power it on using an external power source, but we want our code to start executing as soon as the ESP is powered off. And the way to do that, really, you need to be able to load your code into something called the non-volatile memory of the ESP8266, which is basically its file system. To do that, you need a tool called AMPI. And this is a tool that is installable via pip. And this tool comes from the company called Adafruit. So just say pip install Adafruit AMPI. You'll notice once again that it is already installed on my system, and if you're installing it for the first time, your screen might look a little bit different than what you see here. So okay, so just make sure that AMPI is installed by printing its help menu. AMPI is a pretty small tool. It just has a few get, put, make directory, list, and remove commands. In order to burn the program, we are primarily going to be using the put command, which puts a file from our local computer on to the ESP. And the syntax is also pretty intuitive. So now we are going to write the program onto our text editor on the Mac and then load that program onto the ESP8266 chip. So we can really write the program using any text editor. I'm going to use Sublime Text to write the same program that we just used to blink the LED 10 times. So I'm going to use write that program locally in Sublime Text. The program is the same. I'll go pretty fast through this part. We import the pin and sleep functions, and this time I'm going to write it so that the pin just blinks indefinitely. There is no for loop here. We just do it while true. So first I instantiate the pin object, select the pin number 5, put it to output pin. So you should be familiar with this part because we just did this while true. So this is an infinite loop. I'm going to set the value of the pin to high for 1 second, then set the value to low, and then sleep for 1 second. So now we are going to use the put command to AMPI. Notice that even though the file is named blink.py on my local machine, I want it to be called main.py on ESP because main.py is a significant name for ESP because once the boot sequence is complete, the firmware looks for a file called main.py for execution. If main.py is not present, it will not execute anything. So if you want your code to be executed, it has to be called main.py on the ESP. So what this command is saying is AMPI, take the blink.py file from my local and put it into ESP and as the main.py file. Okay, at this point, while the write was done, you should have noticed that the LED was blinking, and if it did not produce any errors, the program is now loaded onto the ESP. So if your ESP is still connected to the USB, you should start seeing the LED blink on and off, and since this is an infinite loop, it will go on forever.